I feel like we give Jessica Andrage a hard time. And we see this way too often in the sport. Where a fighter coming off a win loses their next fight and then takes the next fight that is offered to them immediately and they just lose again. And we see this way too much. Kamaru Usman in recent memory, Taito Ivasa, Derek Lewis, and now Jessica Andrade. And this happens all the time. And you don't have to look at an example in fighters. You can see it in yourself, in life. This psychology is not just unique to fighters. Let's just say you were gambling. You keep on winning, you're winning, and then you lose. And then you believe that if you just roll the dice again, the outcome of the previous would be different. And most of the time, it's not. So then you roll the dice, thinking that you will now win, and then you don't. So you believe third time's the charm. So then you roll the dice. You don't win. So now in your head, the chances of you losing again is highly unlikely. So then you roll the dice again and you lose. It's just human psychology. Let's just say you were playing a game, maybe even a video game with a buddy, and then you lose. So you believe that if you just try again, you will succeed. And most of the time you don't. And that is what happened with Jessica Andrade. Where a fighter that fight lost a fight which was against Erin Blanchfield and then immediately took the next fight and then lost. And that happens a lot of times in the sport. And it is just human psychology. Because these fighters, and this example could even be for yourself, because people think that if they lose, they will just try again and the outcome will be different. And because these people feel like it is easier to try again rather than reassessing and digesting and processing that loss. It is so much more easier to just take the next fight, thinking that that loss was just a hiccup, that it was just a bump in the road, as they say. And it is not. Because when you lose, that is a time to learn. Conor's coach made this quote famous in the sport. It is not win or lose, it is win or learn. Because there is no losing. There's only learning. And if you just lost a fight, that is now a window for you to learn. Because the best way for you to learn, the best time for you to learn, is not when you're young. It is when you have lost. Let's just say it doesn't need to be as big as losing a fight. It can be as simple as resisting sweets. And then you eat the sweet. You couldn't control yourself. You couldn't help yourself. That was a minor loss. But in that loss, it is now a window to learn that if I feel the urge to eat sweets, I just resist it. I just don't think about it. And oftentimes with these fighters, the problem is that when they take their next fight immediately after losing, that window for them to learn is gone. Because now that is an opportunity for you to learn, and then you just took it away from yourself. Because you think that if you just go out there and try again, the outcome of the previous would be different. And oftentimes it's not. And I really don't like seeing it happen. Because it is a lot easier to just try again instead of taking a look at that loss and digesting it and processing it and seeing the problem and adjusting and changing and learning. But if you immediately take that next fight, you now took that time to learn away from yourself. And oftentimes, when fighters do that, when they've just lost a fight and then immediately right after take the next fight that was offered to them, immediately, oftentimes that is what happens and they lose. And personally, I don't like seeing it happen to them.